Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As we're about to title today's video, here to ask, how small is too small for a point guard in NBA 2K24? So dating back to some of my older lineups that we've ran on Pro-Am in this year's game, we ran double 6'6" PGs. We have my point guard at 6'6", being even still a defensive menace with 91 steal, but a little bit less invested in the ball handling and shooting per se. Not even like crazy though. But then we even still had our shooting guard in Bonnie, who was also 6'6" as well, and playing as the 2 guard, but is a little bit more split ball handler role, so to say. And then we even have teams that are some of the top teams in the game right now, like this one that was running the overnight. This team has Chalk, Tutok, and Bear, and as you can see, the 1 and 2 are both 6'6" in this lineup. And as you can see, Chalk going for 26 and 4, Tutok 19 and 7, and I mean, they're a very good team, absolutely unreal in terms of trying to stop them. And it's because it's so hard to contest a 6'6" in comparison to a 6'4". Not to mention, there are some of the best jump shots in the game that are restricted to only swings, like Tracy McGrady base as well, and that's what you can get your hands on as a higher 3-pointer build that's above 6'5" or 6'5" and taller. But now let's talk about how short is even literally too short to be a point guard in this year's game, at least logically. So as you can see, for a 6'4", you are able to achieve nearly every single thing that you could want in this game as a point guard, in my opinion. You can get 99 3-pointer at a 6'4". You can get 95 plus ball handle, which is going to give you pretty much everything you need. As you're going to see, if we go in here and go to the 95 ball handle, you get the Hoff speed booster, Hoff handles for days. You get Steve Francis size up with that 95 ball handle. At 91 speed with ball, you get Hoff speed booster and Hoff hyperdrive. And then at 90, you get the Kyrie dribble style as well, which is a big deal as a point guard. And if you wanted to go with more of a small guard-esque build like this, 6'4" is pretty much all you should ever go for in terms of the lowest height that you should be making in this game. Again, you have the maximum of a 99 3-pointer, so if you wanted to put a 99 3 on this build, and maybe you wanted less ball handle investment down to the 92, let's say, or also to drop that speed booster requirement down to the 86 speed for the gold, and now you're looking at most likely a build with a couple more revisions here and there that could get it 98 3-pointer for the Hoff agent and the Hoff blinders as well, if you want to go to the Hoff Deadeye, Hoff limitless range, the 99 as well. So what I'm trying to get at here with this video, to make the point of it very short, but even still go into some detail if you guys want to hang around with the video, is 6'4" is pretty much the shortest you could go, but then at the same time, let's compare it to like the 6'6" that you could be looking at as well. So like a 6'6" PG, you probably want to keep 92 3-pointer. As you can see, you can't go to any other threshold limitless range. You're going to have to settle for that silver, but it is actually acceptable and okay in this game. It doesn't play too terribly, and gold is nice to have, but silver can definitely get the job done. And then on top of that too, if you would like, you could go down and take on the wingspan, and as you can see, it unlocks the ability to get the 99 mid-range. Now there are also people who are running builds like this that are extremely tough to deal with, and when you add in the fact that they can still get like a 92 ball handle, you can still get a pretty decent dribble style with the 75 speed with ball with that Magic Johnson obviously, or some prefer to run pro if you want to play a little bit more like a pick and roll point guard. But I mean, overall, as you can see, you don't lose out on a whole lot, bro. I mean, you got so many different maximums that you can still hit between, I know I'm obviously not showing them too well to the perfect point, but 92 ball handle or 93 if you would like to get that killer combos is going to be a very, very doable threshold to hit. And not that this is a perfect representation of what you would get out of a 98 mid-range build, but this is just a decent look at one that's okay. So you can see you have like an 87 prim D for that gold challenger. You're going to have the silver clamps off having 50 strength as well. I mean, all this stuff included makes for a pretty lethal 2-guard, but also still can play point guard for that matter. And that's the type of build that we had AK on when we were running that double 6'6". And I'm not going to lie, there is a lot of threat to it. Now, to do something like this, to make it this defensive as a point guard, you're likely going to want to depend on them a little bit more as a perimeter defender rather than to just throw something like this in the corner. Now with that lineup that Chalk and Tutok are running, they got Chalk on a 90 steal PG and he's playing corner D with it, and even at 6'6", that makes you a really tough threat as far as like trying to backdoor that type of a player. I mean, you're going to be pretty tall, good ability to bang on the interior with a lock, and obviously they're not getting many buckets off that. And then even still, you got the 90 steal to play backdoor lanes on yourself, and you can do a lot with it. Also, if you guys didn't know, I'm pairing up with the NBA 2K Lab this year, so you can use code LAKER for 20% off at checkout at their website. That's NBA2KLab.com. On this website is all types of really good statistical jump shot information. You can also test the jumpers on their website too. Plug the controller straight into your phone or to your PC. You can get early, green, late. It'll tell you where you need to adjust on that jump shot, or if you don't know what jumper you want to run, you just go to their jump shot recommender, you punch in your height, the jump shot rating that you're working with, and then based on the milliseconds of timing that you get, it'll recommend you a jump shot. So again, if you want to use code LAKER for 20% off at checkout, that's NBA2KLab.com. Appreciate you guys, and we'll get back to the video. But anyway, again, when you look at the maximums of a 6'4", I mean, we've already talked about it. You get a maximum of 99 3-pointer, 99 mid-range, you got 96 ball handle. There's not really much reason to go higher than 95 ball handle in this game at all. Let's say you go all the way to the point where you're gonna have a 98 ball handle. As you can see, you do get unpluckable and killer combos, but that's it. Like between 95 to 98, that's literally all you're going for. And unpluckable in this year's game, not exactly the most reliable badge in general. So you're not seeing any point guards come out here with a 98 ball handle. Nobody's making below 6'3 PGs. If you make it a 6'3, 6'2, I suppose there's some possibility at that, but with the way that acceleration plays in this game too, generally what you're seeing is people that make 6'4s with generally somewhere between, let's say, you know, like something like a 6'9 wingspan that's going to allow you to get that 92 3-pointer. Or if you want to go a little bit more offensive, you could obviously go for that 96 cap at the 6'6 wingspan, or if you want to go for 99 3-pointer, 6'4. And again, everything that you're going to get in terms of minimizing your weight is going to allow you all types of thresholds that we've already showcased in this original build right here, between the speed booster, handles for days, the even hyperdrive for that matter. As you can see, it maxes out at the perfect threshold for that speed with ball. People don't even generally make their builds with this high of speed. It's generally through acceleration that they get the speed booster, but even something like this, it makes you more viable on defense with this, with a 92 speed. That is pretty tough right there. Let's say maybe you only wanted a 94 3-pointer just to get this agent, and as you can see, like guard up, space creator, gives a lot of different badges, and you even could still take down the mid-range as well, but I like going for that 84 for a threshold of midi magician, and it's very important to hit your middies in this game. But let's say you did go with something like this. Now you have a 72 Prim D, you have the challenger, fast feet, all that stuff, while still having a 92 speed. You got the Prim D enough to still contest shots. And just like that, your versatility is definitely here when it comes to this build. Defensively, offensively, everything you can do to hold your own. And as you can see, still 89 pass sack for that Tyrese Halliburton pass style, the dimer, everything, bronze bailout, etc., etc. I mean, all this stuff speaks to a really tough build to guard, and that's where I'm saying pretty much all you see in the game anymore these days is a 6'4 or a 6'6. Pretty simple as that. If you wanted to somehow find a reason to make a 6'5, what you can get out of this is 89 speed with ball, while also still being that 6'5 height that's going to allow you to get those swings, jump shots, etc., stuff like that. Now, here's the deal with this. You can't get speed booster on Hall of Fame, and you have to keep your speed with ball pretty high to get the Michael Jordan dribble style. That's what this is pretty much all for. The only height in the game that can get Michael Jordan dribble style, when you even unlock it for that matter at starter 3, which makes it even more rare, is a 6'5. When you make it a 6'6, you can't get your speed with ball high enough. When you make it a 6'4, it's restricted to only swings. So it's like the most crazy rare thing you're ever going to see in the game this year, but it is one of the rare caveats you could look at for a 6'5 specifically. Besides that though, like I said, for the most part, it's just 6'6 and 6'4. That's about all you see at point guard these days when it comes to 5s. When you're talking like potentially more of a 5-out look or something more along the lines of like a rec build, you may see a little bit more of the 6'7, 6'8 get implemented, maybe with some post scoring as well, where you just need it for the unpluckable, and also that you're still gonna be able to, you know, operate in the post with builds like that. I'm not here to say dribbling is impossible on 6'10 or 6'9 builds either, because it's definitely possible. I've seen it firsthand with myself or Joe or whoever's on, you know, tall point forward-esque builds that are actually playing competitively, even for that matter, and obviously for fun. I mean, it's extremely fun for that matter. But I'm trying to tell you guys, when it comes to being a point guard, like these outside PNR users and stuff like that, it's a lot more of 6'4 through 6'6. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. I know it's a little, you know, straightforward to the point. We didn't make it way too long or anything like that, but I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub, and new channel on noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to one to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put 6'4 or 6'6 in the comment shorts personality through, whichever you prefer when it comes to who you play with or what you're using for your own build as well. And let me know if you guys out there have PG builds and you've made them in these types of height ranges as well. If that's just, you know, something that you generally gravitated toward because you also saw the way the builder works in this year's game and didn't end up going with like a 6'1 or a 6'2 like in years past. Or I mean, shoot, we even go back to 2K22. People were running 5'7, 5'8 point guards, and it was the actual meta comp, because it actually gave you like thresholds that you needed, or maybe other builds couldn't hit, like the speed with ball and the, you know, speed booster, or the, you know, all types of badges that actually correlated with having ball handle, speed with ball, or 3-pointer. You couldn't get those types of things at a 6'4, whereas in this year's game, you can get them at 6'4. So it's always the first thing you generally look for when it comes to loading up a 2K as a guard, is how's the tallest I can be while still maintaining all of these attribute caps that I need. And for that matter, a 6'4 is the tallest you can be while still getting all the guard animations for those who specifically want those as well. Or for instance, like the tray fade when it comes out at starter 3 for you. So anyway, that's all for the video. Hope you all enjoyed. None of that. Take it easy, man. Peace.